I find that a lot of people are nervous about asking questions because they don't want to come off like they don't know anything out of fear of being taken advantage of, really.
I think that people kind of need to have that experience of owning a home and trying to get into real estate first. Let's say your tenant breaks the stove, right? You gotta go out and spend $750 on a new stove.
If you are a first-time investor, you have either saved your 401k or you have saved money to plan to make this move. Like, you've got a lot riding on this. You've put a lot of thought into this, a lot of energy into. You didn't just stumble up on the, on the money to do it, or maybe you did. But either way, you got one shot. Like you're sitting right there on 8 Mile. You got one shot. You have to make it happen. And you want to make sure that you have the right team, but it doesn't always happen that way. We run across it all the time. You run into these properties where it's like you went into them and you have this property where it's like they started the job. Remember we just saw a property. You walk down the stairs, right? And this is crazy. You walk down the stairs in the property, and the way that the stairs are built, it's like you walk down and then around, but they built a bathroom and the doorway is right here where the stairs go right by it.
Yeah, where the landing is. You open the door, the landing's like right in the middle.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's like it was a mistake, obviously. And it's something that it can be fixed, but those type of mistakes, they cost money.
Right.
And the more of them you have in one place, the more money you're just bleeding out. You're just expelling money consistently, and it turns into now you can't afford to make the decision or make the move that you're trying to make. So do you go as deep as to helping them to make the decisions when it comes to that, or who do they need to talk to?
They really need to talk to a contractor, but they also have to be passionate. Mm-hmm. That property that we're talking about with the stairway in front of the bathroom,
right?
They could have avoided a lot of that if they were more invested, not money-wise, but time-wise and personally invested-wise.
Like involved.
If they were more involved.
Yeah.
If they paid more attention, if they hired better people and didn't just try to go and get the cheapest guy that was going to do really bad work for them.
Right.
Things like that. That's really where you spend a lot of money.
Yeah, because the person that's going to save you money is not always going to be the best person.
Correct.
Most of the time, you're going to spend more money that way.
Exactly. So you want the job done right. A contractor is important. When you have the right contractor, do you feel like that saves you a lot of mistakes?
Absolutely. They can
guide
you.
A lot of money. And a lot of money. And can I tell you too, I think the one thing that I was taught when I first started this is to ask questions, right? You're not gonna know all of the answers to anything. You kind of need to surround yourself with people that may know a little bit more than you or a little bit smarter than you. Asking those questions and gathering all of that information is only going to help you in the long run.
Yeah. Every question that I've ever asked, even if it was the same question again or a question that just, it seemed like it was out of nowhere, has always led me to a better place. 100%. Every single time. And I find that a lot of people are nervous about asking questions because they don't want to come off like they don't know anything out of fear of being taken advantage of, really. Because sometimes when a person knows that you don't know, they'll just tell you anything, or at least that's the fear. The fear is like, I'm going to be taken advantage of because I don't know what I'm doing already, or this person is going to look at me and they're not going to take me as seriously as I want to be taken in this moment. Mm-hmm. So they won't ask those questions, but those questions are literally going to give you the answers that you need to be the most effective.
Absolutely. And if you think somebody's giving you the wrong answer, ask somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't confuse yourself, but maybe get a second opinion.
Yeah. Second and third opinions, it doesn't matter if you're going to the doctor or anything. I believe in that. You just have to. You have to. You never know. You never know.
I think that people kind of need to have that experience of owning a home and trying to get into real estate first before they really jump into the investment aspect of it.
Why do you say that?
So you need to know what your responsibilities are. And as a landlord, you tend to not know what you're getting into if you've never owned a house before. Because the numbers on paper are the numbers, right? But you have other costs that are associated with doing things, right? Let's say your tenant breaks the stove, right? You got to go out and spend $750 on a new stove. Now you got to, your cash flow went from $1,000 to $250 because you needed to spend that money, somewhere else.
Right.
Same thing for managing a property too. You have to understand like the bills need to be paid on time too, especially if you have a mortgage, right? Got to keep everything organized on that perspective. So I think, kind of just jumping into, real estate from like maybe a primary perspective, and also, if you wanted to get into like multifamily, like if you wanted to purchase a duplex on an FHA loan or something like that, live on one side and rent out the other, I think that's also a great idea.
That seems to be the best idea.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
For me, at least in my area, I live in Toms River, so it's very hard to find a duplex if it's not, let's say like $1 million in Seaside Heights. But, if you guys live like in Burlington County where you can like go to Millville or go to, Cumberland County in some capacity and just say, hey, I want to purchase this property. I'm going to live on one side. I'm going to rent out the other. You get that cash flow, from that other side that's being rented on a monthly basis. And then you have your own little space too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's benefits to everything, at least in that capacity.
What's the biggest benefit that you can point out that a new investor would be able to capitalize on? Obviously, they don't know anything. They're going into it, with all of their dreams, all of their hopes, and everything else. But what is the best benefit to being a new investor?
Yeah, you're taking that first step to financial freedom, because what the intention is, at least with investing in real estate, is that you're going to transition from your current 9 to 5, and this is going to be your new norm, right? With, growing your portfolio and making sure that you're getting more properties under your belt. I think that's the biggest benefit, is like kind of understanding that your life is going to transition. It's going to transition for the better as long as you're making the right decisions and surrounding yourself with the best people.
Yeah. That actually just hit me. Crazy. Because that is so important. So important. And everybody's trying to make those type of decisions to get themselves to a certain point. For me, it was a lot of fear. I didn't want to take a leap, make this step, and not and to miss the mark, essentially. I didn't want to miss the mark, and I didn't know what my thing was. I didn't have a specific passion to say, this is exactly what I want to do. But when I tie that to investing, and I say, hey, let's say one of my clients is like, I want to invest in this, I want to build this, and I want to make this the dream. I can see their passion, but I can also see their fears. And I can also walk with them on that journey to say, okay, here's what you want to make sure that you avoid. Here's what you want to go through. But I know that the way that I serve my clients best is I listen to the things that they don't say. It's just how I work. For some reason, I don't know what you want to call it, but I can feel your energy. I understand where you're coming from. If I can relate to you. If I can't relate to you, then I just help you, of course, by what you do say. But there's a lot of clients that I run into where we're having a conversation and I can tell they're trembling. I can tell they're not certain. So I just address the certainty or the uncertainty. I address those different things. The best way that I can put it is that is so important, especially today. One income source is not enough.
No.
It's not enough.
Not at all.
You can't live like that. You can exist that way, but you can't really live a life. You're not going to be able to take the vacations to go to raise your kids and actually be prepared for their college and whatever else they want to do, with the rest of their life, to buy a home, to have a second. You're not going to be able to do those things unless you have more than one stream of income. But
Absolutely.
Rentals, it provides a societal change that I'm not sure I love. And I just have to be honest with you guys.
Not sure you love because why?
The only reason is because I want everybody to win, man. I do. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to succeed. I want the best for everybody. And ideally, I would want everybody to own their own home, to own their own property. Some people, they're okay renting. But the more people that invest in properties, the more I see that there are rental homes. And now there are certain people that they will never own a property. They will always rent. They will go from one home to the next, to the next, to the next. I did that a little bit growing up until like my family, my parents, they bought their first home. It was a brand new construction home. It was a complete dynamic shift to the way that our life went. Because we did that. We moved from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. We didn't have the same friends for more than 2 years. And then all of a sudden we had stability. And there's nothing better than that, because it allowed you to kind of it allows your kids to formulate their identity. Because now you've got this friend you've had for 6 years, and this, there's certain things that it's just irreplaceable. So I want people to be homeowners for that reason. That's the only reason. But aside from that, it's like, I also want people to win and be able to, create generational wealth.